Before the fame, before the tours, before the industry knew her name, there was just a teenage girl sitting in her bedroom uploading a grainy music video to YouTube. No team, no label, just a webcam, GarageBand, and something honest to say. That video would change everything, not just for her, but for a whole generation of artists. Because in the middle of a digital world obsessed with polish, Clairo reminded everyone what raw looked like, what real sounded like. This is the story of Clairo, a story about what happens when the internet makes you and how it nearly breaks you. About going viral before you're ready and finding strength and softness when the world wants something louder. The late 2010s were weird. We were all glued to our screens, watching the lines blur between social media and real life. Platforms like YouTube, SoundCloud, and TikTok turned anyone into a potential pop star overnight. You didn't need a studio, just a laptop, some Wi-Fi, and a little bit of luck. That's where Clairo comes in. Claire Cottrell grew up in Carlisle, Massachusetts. She was the kind of kid who kept to herself, shy, artistic, deeply online. Music was always in the picture. She played guitar and piano and started recording covers and original songs as early as middle school. But it wasn't until 2017, at age 18, that things really started to happen. She uploaded a video to YouTube called Pretty Girl. It was simple, just Clairo sitting in her bedroom, lip-syncing to her own track, wearing oversized glasses and a baggy shirt. The production was minimal, a bouncy synth line, soft vocals, and lyrics about changing yourself to impress someone else. It didn't look like much, but that was the point. In a world of highly polished content, Pretty Girl felt real and the internet noticed. The video went viral, racking up millions of views in a matter of weeks. Suddenly, everyone wanted to know who Clairo was. Was she for real? Was she the future? Or was she just another lucky YouTube artist? As the Pretty Girl wave grew, so did the skepticism. Almost immediately, people started digging into Clairo's background. They found out that her father, Geoff Cottrell, had been a marketing executive for major companies like Converse and Coca-Cola. Rumors started swirling that Clairo was an industry plant, a label-made artist disguised as indie. For Clairo, the backlash was devastating. She was barely out of high school. One moment she was making music for fun, the next she was at the center of an online witch hunt. People questioned if she was real, overlooked her talent, and made her the butt of a joke, all because she got popular too fast and her dad had worked in the industry. It didn't matter that Pretty Girl was written, recorded, and edited by Clairo herself, that it sounded rough around the edges because it was supposed to, or that she'd been quietly uploading music for years before the algorithm ever found her. To the internet, the timing was too perfect and her dad's corporate background was enough to plant a seed of doubt. And from that seed, the conspiracy grew. Reddit threads popped up dissecting her rise. Twitter users passed around screenshots as if they were case evidence. YouTubers made entire videos questioning her credibility. It became this performance of online skepticism, like being authentic meant you had to come from nothing, have no connections, and somehow still go viral overnight. The term industry plant wasn't new, but Clairo became the poster child for it. And the worst part? There was almost nothing she could say in her own defense. Any attempt to explain her background just added fuel to the fire. Any show of professionalism was spun as proof that she wasn't really indie. It was a trap and she was stuck inside it. Imagine being 18 years old, finally seeing your dreams take shape, only to be told that you didn't deserve any of it. That your success wasn't earned, it was orchestrated. That your art was fake, your feelings fake, your entire image a PR stunt. Clairo could have quit right then. Plenty of people would have understood. But instead, she did something harder. She stayed and she let the music speak for her. She started performing live, released more tracks, signed to Fader label. And in 2018, she dropped her debut EP, Diary 001. Songs like Flaming Hot Cheetos and Forever showed her range, mixing lo-fi beats with sharp songwriting and understated vocals. This wasn't just bedroom pop, it was something deeper, more intentional, more emotionally rich. Clairo was proving that she wasn't just a viral fluke, she was an artist. But behind the music, Clairo was struggling. For years, she'd been living with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. And it wasn't some occasional pain, it was every day. Some mornings, she'd wake up barely able to move her hands. Other times, she'd push through a show only to collapse backstage, completely drained. Touring, press runs, studio sessions, all of it made it worse. But from the outside, you'd never really know. She didn't talk about it much, not because she was hiding, but because she didn't want people to see her as the sick artist. She just wanted to be taken seriously for the music, not the condition. Still, it was there and it shaped everything. The pace of her work, the quiet tone of her songs, the emotional depth in her lyrics. When Clairo sings softly, it's not just a stylistic choice, it's a reflection of where she's been and what she's still carrying. She was also coming to terms with her sexuality. In 2018, she came out as bisexual in a low-key Twitter post. No dramatic rollout, no magazine cover, no press release, just a quiet statement in the middle of a casual thread. It wasn't a big announcement, just another moment of quiet honesty, the kind of thing that would become her trademark. But being a queer woman in the public eye brought its own challenges. Suddenly, people expected her to have all the answers, to speak on behalf of an entire community, to be the face of queer representation in indie pop. Every word she said, every outfit she wore, every song she released was dissected and analyzed online. Fans wanted visibility, the media wanted labels, and Clairo, still young, still growing, just wanted space to figure herself out. There's a strange pressure that comes with being visible and vulnerable. You're applauded for sharing, but punished for being uncertain. Clairo never tried to make her sexuality her brand, but the internet kind of did it for her. Queerness, like everything else about her, was seen as a narrative to be packaged, discussed, and debated. Still, she never backed away from it. Instead, she let it live in the music. In songs like Sophia and Bags, there's no big declaration, just feelings and real moments captured in the in-between spaces. Clairo didn't make anthems, she made reflections, and for a lot of people, that was even more powerful. The tension between public and private, between performance and reality, became a major theme in her music. In 2019, Clairo released Immunity, her debut album. The project was a leap forward in every sense. Sonically, it moved beyond lo-fi. There were real drums, layered harmonies, even auto-tune. Lyrically, it was vulnerable, sharp, and deeply personal. Songs like Bags captured the confusion and thrill of queer desire. Alowife tackled depression and dark thoughts with haunting honesty. Immunity was praised by critics. Suddenly, the same outlets that had once questioned her legitimacy were calling her one of the most important new voices in indie music. But more importantly, the album resonated with fans, especially young people, especially kids who didn't see themselves in mainstream pop. Clairo wasn't loud, she wasn't flashy, but she was real, and that mattered. After Immunity, Clairo could have played it safe, could have made another chill, indie pop record, but instead, she surprised everyone again. In 2021, she released Sling, a lush, vintage-inspired album that felt like a cross between Johnny Mitchell and Carole King. Produced with Jack Antonoff, Sling was quiet, orchestral, and deeply introspective. It was a record about womanhood, domesticity, and the desire for a slower, more peaceful life. No hits, no viral videos, just music. The rollout was understated with no big radio singles, no marketing stunts, just Clairo growing into her voice and refusing to chase trends. Sling wasn't a commercial smash, but it didn't need to be. It cemented Clairo as an artist who moves at her own pace, someone more interested in making timeless records than chasing algorithmic fame. Even now, Clairo's just getting started, and yet her voice has already echoed through a generation. You can hear her influence everywhere, in the softness of Biba Doobie's melodies, in the bedroom confessions of Girl in Red, and in the glitchy, genre-bending style of Pink Pantheress. These artists didn't just follow Clairo's sound, they followed her blueprint. The idea that you could make something beautiful from your bedroom, that honesty could be louder than perfection. Clairo proved that vulnerability isn't weakness, that you don't need to scream to be heard, that soft can be powerful, maybe even revolutionary in a world that rewards loudness and spectacle. And the wildest part? She never chased the spotlight. She never begged to go viral. She just told the truth, quietly, and the world leaned in. But her story isn't just about music. It's about surviving the machine, the internet, the fame, the pressure, without letting it eat you alive. It's about navigating an industry that tried to define her before she could define herself, about growing up in front of millions and somehow managing to stay grounded. She didn't play the game the way they wanted her to. She made her own lane, and in doing so, she made space for others to do the same. The internet gave Clairo everything: a platform, a career, an audience, but it also gave her doubt, criticism, pressure. It gave her the spotlight and then turned it into a microscope. She was praised and picked apart, championed and questioned, sometimes all in the same breath. People wanted her to be the face of a movement she never asked to lead, to represent something bigger than herself while still figuring out who she even was. And yet, through it all, she never stopped creating. Even when her body was hurting, even when her name was trending for the wrong reasons, even when it would have been easier to disappear, she kept going. Slowly, quietly, intentionally. She went from webcam videos to critically acclaimed albums, from viral novelty to generational voice, from a quiet girl in her room to a quiet force in music. She didn't explode onto the scene, she grew into it. Step by step, song by song, she proved that longevity doesn't have to come from reinvention or shock value. Sometimes, it comes simply from being honest, again and again. The insane true story of Clairo isn't just about going viral, it's about what comes after. The work, the pain, the evolution. It's about finding your voice in the noise and holding on to it even when everyone else wants to rewrite your story for you. And the truth is, she's still writing it, quietly, powerfully, and on her own terms.